one of the first labs we're going to be doing after we get everything set up is going to be a layer 2 connectivity lab. That's just a basic lab using the layer 2 to connect the two virtual PCs together. So first, I have both of my switches ready to go, and we're at the initial login. So we're going to go ahead and get logged in and configure some of these commands to get these things connected. First thing I'm going to do is let's just make this connection between the two switches, make that trunk active so that they can communicate. So let's log into switch 1 and get it configured. So switch 1 is going to be login is going to be default admin and no password. Hit enter. It'll prompt you for a new password. And for us, since it's a lab, we're just going to hit enter twice. And then now we're at the switch. So first thing it wants us to do for the switch 1 is to set the host name. So we have to get into the global config. So we're going to hit config T. And then we're going to type in host name SW1. All right, and it changes the beginning there, and see it changes from switch to SW1. Perfect. So now we need to create that VLAN. So we're already in the config mode, so we're going to type in VLAN 10. All right, so now we're in VLAN 10. We're going to name it VLAN, all capitals, VLAN 10. Well, then we'll just do a space there. We'll make VLAN 10. There we go. All right. So now we need to set that interface. So we're going to go into the interface 111, and we're going to go int 1/1/1, and we're going to hit enter. We're going to tell it no shutdown, no shut. All right, and then we're going to say VLAN trunk native 1. Okay, so routing is enabled on this interface, so we need to tell it to not be. So we're going to say no routing. Then we're going to up arrow twice and set that. Then we're going to up arrow again, and we're going to tell it to allow VLAN 10. And then for this one, I'm going to say allow tab, and it auto completes it. 10. Done. Hit enter, and then exit. All right, fantastic. So that has been set on that interface. And let's go over to switch 2. First off, let me write this before we get going, in case it reboots. Write me, or write memory, index thing, copies the config, wha-bam, done. All right, so same thing here. So switch 2, here we go. We're gonna say admin, no password, enter twice. All right, so host name, or config T, host name SW2. All right, we're gonna go into, we're gonna set up VLAN, so we're gonna say VLAN 10, and then we're gonna say name VLAN space 10. All right, so we're going to exit. Then we're going to go into that interface that is connected to the trunk, which is 112. So we're going to say int 1/1/2, enter, and then we say no routing, just because we had to do the other one. No routing, no shut, VLAN trunk native 1, VLAN trunk allowed 10. Oops. Let that autocomplete work. Allow 10. Okay, exit that. We're gonna say write me, or WR me. Exit. All right, cool. So now our trunk has been established. I can verify that by typing the show LLDP neighbor information, and I'm going to do this over here. So I'm going to go to show LLDP neighbor information, and it tells me that it is connected from its local port on 1.1 to the second Aruba here, and that is going to be the 1.1.2. So we're showing that it's connected on both ends. So we got 1.1 to 1.1.2, and we got 1.2 to 1.1.1. So perfect. So our trunk has been established and we are connected. There are two switches have been connected here. So next thing we need to do is configure the interfaces that are going to our devices here. I'm going to start on switch 1, and switch 1 we're going to go into interface 1.1.3 and configure that for VLAN 10. So same thing here, I'm going to type in interface for INT1/1/3. I'm going to tell it no routing, no shut, and VLAN access 10 exit. Right memory. Done. Alright, so same thing here. I'm going to go into config T interface 1/1/4 enter. I'm going to say no routing, no shut, VLAN access 10 exit right me. Done. Alright, done. Exit, exit. Show run. Exit. Show run. Okay, so there is our configurations. Now we have to go into these virtual PCs and configure an IP address. So I'm going to double click on this guy, bring him up, let's start him. Start him. Double click. Opens it to a new browser. So I'm going to pull that browser down, or pull that tab down here. Alright, so there's that tab right there, and we're going to configure an IP address on the virtual PC1. So I'm going to go to type in IP 192.168.10.11 space 255.255.255.0. Okay, fantastic. It put that IP address on there. I can do a show IP. There we go. Show IP. There it is. All right, so there is my IP address. Fantastic. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing over here on PC2. Let's open that guy up. Opens it in a new tab. I'm going to pull that tab down here, and two PCs will be connected together or in the same group. So, all right, so we're here. We need to tell it to do the same thing, an IP address, and we're going to give it an IP address of IP 192.168.10.12 space 255.255.255.0. Hit enter. Checking for duplicates. Doesn't find one. Gives it to it. We say show IP. There's that IP address. Okay, fantastic. So the last step here is, can we ping each other through from the to the switch, through the switch, into the other switch, and then to the PC? So let's try it. So I'm on PC1 here. I'm going to ping PC2's address of 192.168.10.12. And it looks like we are pinging successfully. All right, it's going that way. Does it go the other way from the PC to the switch, to the switch, to the switch, to the PC1? So let's try it. Let's do a ping 192.168.10.11. All right, cool. So our layer 2 connectivity is working with our VLANs through the switch, so our PCs are able to communicate successfully. All right, so that's the first lab. Really get going, and yeah, good luck. Have fun.